name is Curry Glassell, and you have just entered the Gem Zone. Gems, my podcast that I even never know what we're going to talk about. Well, that's not completely true, but at least half the time, I don't know what we're going to talk about until like 5 minutes before the show, because I just would like to invite you to another possibility for living in this reality. Say, what? Yep. You don't have to be stuck. You don't have to be depressed. You don't have to be sad. And you don't have to feel alone. All those four things, I think there were four, right? All those four things I just mentioned was where I was living in the year 2000. Just coming out of Y2K, by the way, which I was so freaked out about. I had two little babies, and I was like, no husband, no family, no, well, maybe I had some friends, but, you know, what friend do you know is going to take in a single mom and two boys? I mean, maybe one. There might have been one, but at the time, not where I was living. I would have had to flown out somewhere. And I was like, holy moly, the world's coming to an end. No, really? I believe this shit. I would have been one of those people who, no, I probably wouldn't, but I might have been, who jumped out of the windows when Orson Welles read War of the Worlds in 1949, 48, 50, 1950. I don't know exactly the date. You can research it. Orson Welles, he was a famous actor, and he read a book by H.G. Wells, strangely enough. I wonder if they were connected or related somehow. Anyway, another side note, not to worry. So he read this book on his famous radio show, and people thought it was true. There were people in New York City who actually thought aliens were invading, and they jumped out of their buildings and committed suicide. Wow. I mean, wow. You know, so it really is possible to be freaked out, to be depressed, to be unhappy, and to think this world is just the shittiest place in the world. I know. I was there. Been there, done that, bought 3 t-shirts. Now, what else is possible? Well, what if a little, tiny little one word, kind of hard to spell, but you'll get it if you try 3 or 4 or 5 times, called consciousness. What if consciousness actually had your back? Say, what, white girl? What the F are you talking about? Yeah, what I'm talking about is the generative molecular structure of the entire universe. What I'm talking about is the kindness that you receive from animals, from nature. What I'm talking about is, what if there was more to this reality than hi ho, it's off to work we go, bum, 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 hi ho. I'm, of course, assuming that all of you have seen Snow White and the Seven, almost Snow White and the Three Dwarfs, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. If you're not a Disney person or not American, or don't follow American movie history, then you would have no idea what I'm talking about. But you get the energy of nothing but a day filled with get up, work, get home, sleep, eat, sleep. If you're lucky, have sex. Yay! You know, half an hour fun per day. So what if life didn't have to be like that? And so that's the adventure I went on 18 years ago. And actually, I went on it more than 18 years ago. I just lied to you. I found the Access Consciousness tools 18 years ago. I actually started on this adventure when I was 16 years old, and I started volunteering, working with, quote, difficult children. And I began to realize there was a much greater, bigger world outside of my own, quote, problems. And so when I began to go outside and seek and look for something different, I actually found. So my question today would be, this may be like the topic for several podcasts, but have you actually found some of what you've been looking for? And if so, would you please acknowledge it? Because acknowledging it is the first step to creating something different for the future. I'm just going to let that sink in for a minute. The other hindering fact to creating a different future from the current present you have now is Bum, bum, bum. Let's have a little drum roll. An obsession with the history you personally have of your personal limitations. Or, just to say it easier, the history of limitation. The history of limitation in your life, is that what's stopping you? Because that's what was stopping me. If it is, you've come to the right place. And for $9.99, you too can find out more about how to set yourself free and start anew and create anew. And really and truly, consciousness will have your back. If you just ask right now, how does it get any fucking better than this? Where can I find something or someone to show me a different possibility? I can tell you for one thing, the Access Consciousness tools are in 174 countries right now as we speak. www.accessconsciousness.com. Find a facilitator near you. Now, if you like the sort of crazy life I live, I invite you to seek out my website, www.curryglassell.com. I do classes, I do private sessions, I do radio seminars, I do in-person classes. I do all kinds of stuff all over the world. Would love to have you join us. Would love for you to write in questions. I have a Facebook page. You can write questions. You can sign up. There is a different possibility for you. Consciousness does have your back. You do not have to keep suffering, unless, of course, suffering is what is most valuable to you. So, with that happy note, I would like to invite you to choose something different today. What is it you'd like to choose? If you had the tools, what would you choose to create your life today, tomorrow, and the next day is different? All right, guys. Hope you had a great one. Hope you have a better one, and look forward to talking to you